while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
Bears, the 2 seed in the NFC. Those owners say, why can't this be my team?
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This week on ABC Hockey Saturday, we're going old school.
A great rivalry that dates back to 1926.
And they just don't like each other. In this corner, the Broadway Blue Shirts. Panarin down the middle. Scores! Against the black and gold. Pasternak, he scores! There's nothing like homemade pasta. That's a battle.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Scott Tyson here with the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sportsman. The college football playoff semifinals. Miami's Carson Beck would scramble for a 3-yard touchdown with 18 seconds left to send the Hurricanes to the national championship game on their home field for the first time since 2001 as they hold off Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl 31-27. Tonight, number 1 Indiana, number 5 Oregon meet in the second semifinal. 6:30 kickoff from the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. Indiana, 3.5-point favorite. Thursday night, GSC basketball. UAH's last second 3-point drive would be off the mark as Montevallo would hold on for a 71-68 win. UAH women extend their school record win streak to 13 games as they knock off the Falcons 64-56. Both teams back in action Saturday on the road at Auburn-Montgomery. SEC women's hoops. Alabama knocks off 6th-ranked Kentucky 64-51. Make sure and download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Can you get me a dog? Little typesafe.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Your tire's tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Tom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Tom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Oh, it can only mean one thing. That it's Football Friday in the Doghouse. Oh, baby. Don't get any bigger than this. Biggest day of the week, biggest time of the year. And football music throughout the show. Play those guitars. Let me hear those. There goes Hollywood Hogan moonwalking down the hallway. John's playing the guitar behind his neck. I mean, that's pretty cool. Drew Darman rubbing his belly as he... How does that not get you going, though, man? I'm just telling you right now. And, of course, Friday in the Doghouse means the highly interactive, often imitated, never duplicated Owen Home Appliance Friday Trifecta. And this is the second one in 2 days. That's right. We rolled out our final four-fecta yesterday. And those of you that had Ole Miss are gonzo in that thing by a half a point. A half a point. Remember, we gave 3.5. The Canes won that thing by 4 in a terrific game. Just a terrific football game. So today, we've got the wild card fecta for you. 4 solid NFL playoff games for you to pick. I know there's 6. I wasn't going to put all 6 on the board. I mean, that's like it's silly. I'm not going to put all 6 of those things on the board. But I do have 4, in my opinion, the 4 best of the playoff games this weekend. And we've got a pile of potential points on the line. That's right. We're going with the 4-8-12 scoring. 4-8-12 scoring. You got to hit 2 of these games. All right. I'm not giving you anything if you hit just one game. You got to hit 2 of these games to get 4 points to begin with. Just hit 2. If you hit 3 of the games, I'll double that up and give you 8 points. And if you hit all 4 games against the spread, which is a very hard thing to do, it's worth an even dozen, 12 points. That's right. You get a dozen points if you can hit all 4 of these games. So this is your chance to make a big move if you're in the middle of the pack, or to stretch things out if you are leading. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm just going to hold on and try and nail the score in the national championship game or nail the score in the Super Bowl and win the whole thing. Well, we're not going to go that route. We're not giving away $10,400 worth of appliances from Owen Home Appliance because you got the score right in one game. However, we will have a big bonus. All right, there'll be a big bonus. We'll have nailed the score for both the national championship game and the Super Bowl. It'll be for major bonus points. I'm talking heavy points, but it's not going to be an automatic win. Not going to be an automatic win this time. A lot of points, but we'll get to that. And I'll get you the picks here in a minute. Our number is wide open for your picks today and your reaction to last night's Fiesta Bowl. I'll give you my thoughts in a minute on that. The phone lines are open. You can go ahead and jump in and contribute. 256-576-4977. That number is good wherever and however you consume the show. However you're taking this show in, you can get it right there at that number, 256-576-4977. We got a text window, which is open as well. We'll read and react to those on the air. You can also get your picks in there. It's a wonderful way to make your picks for the Friday Trifecta as well at 732-9TA show. 732-982-7469. And finally, you can watch the show as well on WZZN TV, on the YouTube, on the Facebook, on the X. Best place maybe to go get it is from my X feed at Thom Abraham Show. If you go to the X feed at Thom Abraham Show, not only will you see the show itself, you will also see visually the wild card fecta, okay, which is missing a game. Pull that down, John. You're missing a game in the wild card fecta. There's 4 games, not 3 games. All right, so John's going to have to fix that up for you. That's what happens. I told you these guys got like 5 minutes in between. Although we try to get there, you go. He fixed it already. Now, wait a minute. So get rid of that one. Boom, bang, bang, bang. Is there a way to pull down something once you put it up? Maybe you can get rid of it, because what's going to end up happening is some people are going to see that one and make picks on 3 games. We need to get that thing destroyed. All right, so you can get in on that deal. Coming up at the top of the 11, Kevin Rogers from prizepicks.com and a longtime radio guy in Miami, WQAM in Miami, other stations down there. He's a Miami dude. He will join us on the Canes, who will host the national championship game in 10 more days, and the Dolphins coaching search and where they go. Where does Tua go? What's going on there? You know, I get that college football wants to get away from the NFL playoffs, which they could easily do by actually conducting their playoff in December. But now that we're going to go ahead and run this thing out all the way to mid-January, why not have the national championship game next Friday night instead of the following Monday night? I mean, I'm not trying to just make sense here. It's better for the people who go to the game and we're at the game. It's easier to take a Friday off and if you got to travel and you go to the game And then the next day it's the weekend, and you can hang out in Miami and enjoy Miami for a day or two before you go back and go to your job. It's better for the fan who wants to stay up till midnight watching the game. Then you can sleep in on Saturday morning, or maybe you have a beverage after the game. Maybe you get together with a bunch of your friends. It's a championship game watch party for like-minded fans. If you're a fan of Miami or Indiana or Indiana, you get together, you get together with your buddies, watch the game, hang out a little bit after, sleep in the next day. It's Saturday. Wouldn't Friday night don't say, Friday night, Monday. Wait a minute. We bastardized the whole thing anyway. Right? We had New Year's Day was a Thursday. We had all of those games. We had a game on Wednesday night. We had a game on we had 3 games on Thursday in the quarterfinals. We got a semifinal game on Thursday. We got a semifinal game on Friday. Why not the national championship game next Friday? Why Monday? Am I making sense? Isn't a week enough time in between games? Now we got to wait another 10 days. Makes sense to me. All right, let's get you your picks for the Owen Home Appliance Friday Trifecta, celebrating 25 years. Our top handicapper after the Super Bowl wins a complete Gordon Ramsay set of kitchen appliances from Owen Home Appliance. That's the new range, the range hood, the fridge, the dishwasher, $10,400 value. You pay nothing. And if you've got a new kitchen or you don't want appliances, no worries. You can replace that with something else of equal value from Owen Home Appliance. Maybe you get the washer dryer and something else. Or maybe you sell them. All right? Maybe they're worth $10,400. Maybe you just sell them. If it were me, I would replace my appliances in place. What I got? So you'd get a dishwasher. That's good. I could replace mine are only 2 years old, my appliances, because we just redid our kitchen. But still, they're not this stuff. I could tell you, our range is pretty nice. But I mean, you sell them. Get some quiche out of the deal. And there's also still some 5-point bonus T-shirts left down at Owen Home Appliance, which is 8 miles south of the river on 231 in Alabama. Papa T went down there and got his on Wednesday and picked up 5 bonus points. So I got 4 playoff games. Get any 2 of these playoff games right, and you'll pick up 4 points. Get 3 right for 8. Get all 4 right for 12. We start tomorrow night in Chicago, where the Packers Lombardi are a pick'em against the Bears.
The Bears.
Yeah, the Bears. I'm making it a pick'em. It's 1.5. It's went from Bears by 1.5 to Packers by 1.5. Some places it's pick. I just went pick'em. Also a pick'em. The Bills.
Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout.
Trying to win their first road playoff game, and I don't know how long. I thought I put the crack research team on it yesterday, but I don't know if I did or not. I think it's like 8 or 9 years or more since the Bills won a road playoff game. They are a pick'em against the Jags. Jag off!
Yeah, jag off. How you been, jag off?
We got the Chargers.
Who's got it better than us? No!
Jim Harbaugh. Getting 3.5 at Mike Vrabel and the Patriots.
Because it sucks to lose.
Yeah, it does, Mike. He doesn't want to lose. And finally, the 49ers.
I don't know nothing about that.
Bet those 49ers. Get 4.5 at the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly!
My boy Jalen Hurts. So, for the 3rd straight year, the SEC is shut out of the national championship game, but not for a lack of trying, as Ole Miss led late before Miami mounted that winning 15-play, 75-yard drive against Pete Golding's defense. Miami had 4 75-yard drives in that game. 4 75-yard drives in that game. They outrushed Ole Miss by over 100 yards, and that's including Kewan Lacey's 73-yard touchdown run for Ole Miss. I mean, if outside of that play, that one moment in time where Kewan Lacey caught that seam and ran 73 yards for a touchdown, outside of that moment in time, Miami outrushed Ole Miss by 175 yards. If you take away Carson Beck's 4 sacks, that counts as rushes, which is silly. You take away Carson Beck's 4 sacks, and the Canes ran it 47 times to 20 for Ole Miss. So once again, we see an SEC team getting beat by teams playing SEC football. Run the friggin' ball. Stop the run. Run the ball. Look, we're not talking about splitting the atom here. This is as old as the game. Stop the run the ball. And I know it's hard. I get it. It's not just easy just to call running play after run, but the running game is cumulative. The running game, you got to stomach the fact that you're going to have a couple of 2-yard gains, and then it's a 4-yard gain, and then you're going to pop one for 12 yards or 17 yards. You beat on people. The running game is physical. Football is physical. Sometimes it's just football. You need to be committed to it. Ole Miss was down 4 at the half. They were down 4 at the half. They passed the ball on 14 of their first 15 plays in the second half. They ran the ball once in the third quarter. Once. 14 pass plays they called out of 15 plays. In a 4-point game. In a game that they actually got to 1 point. Because they were able to get down there and kick a field goal 17-16. They're still passing the ball at every down. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I don't know when people are going to figure it out that this is still the way the game is played. And we are going to see, if Indiana wins tonight, we are going to see old school, hard-nosed football in the national championship game a month and a half from now.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together on a spit and polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son!
I don't like violence, Thom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Do you hear the grasshopper, which is at your feet?
Old man, how is it that you hear these things?
Young man, how is it that you do not?
As quickly as you can, snatch the pebble from my hand. When you can take the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave.
Oh, I love Fridays. Don't you love a Friday?
Even when it's pouring down outside,
It is pouring down, man. It is raining like a cow pissing on a flat rock out there right now, man. It is something. It's gonna rain a minute. I mean, all throughout the region there are flood warnings. Be careful with that. It's supposed to rain all the way through tomorrow at 4:00. I don't know how they know it's going to stop at 4:00 tomorrow.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to rain tomorrow at 4:00. And my daughter wants me to go look at a piece of property with her. They're trying to convince me to get involved in buying a piece of property, 25 acres or something, up on top of Keith Springs Mountain. All right. I'm not living on top of Keith Springs Mountain. Keith Springs Mountain is the mountain that is between Winchester and Scottsboro. I got to go over Keith Springs Mountain every time I go to Gunnersville Lake. I got to go up this mountain, up this curvy, very steep mountain road, dragging the boat up this mountain, and then down 16 turns into something else, and down the hill then to Scottsboro. And her and my daughter found this beautiful piece of property up on top of Keith Springs Mountain. It's got 2 or 3 outbuildings on it and everything else. And they want to live like in a commune up there. And I'm not.
That's awesome. I mean, sometimes
I know
you just have too much money, and that's when you just start buying properties, and you can do so much with them. The possibilities are truly endless. You can also
but I'm
buy
not
another
retired
boat and leave that boat up there too, so then it's an easier drive. You just drive down the mountain and back up.
Yeah, but it would be Yeah, I mean, but if I want to fish everywhere you go, you got to come down off the mountain. I don't know what the internet situated. They don't think right. They don't think like I think in terms of you got to have high speed internet. You got to have this. And I know I'm only going another couple of years doing a daily show, maybe, but I'm always going to be working. I've decided I'm going to work until I die. All right. So, and I mean, hopefully that's another 15, 20 years, but I'll be doing something. I'll be writing outdoor columns or I'll be doing whatever. I just don't want to live up on top of that mountain. I want to be close to my church and I want to be close. And we love where we live. I mean, it's not like anybody doesn't, we have a compound here and we got 5 buildings on an acre right in the middle of historic Winchester. We've got on both sides of the street.
You could just start putting up those Home Depot shacks and then you could literally have a little neighborhood in there. But you know how women are, okay? They buy first and then think later. Come on now.
Well, that's what they want to do up there. They want to put like in the wood, they want to like clear lots, and then for all of you guys, to all of the kids would have their own cabin up on the property, and like, oh, this would be great. They get all these cabins up here, and everybody has their own cabin. I'm like, you people watch too much HGTV, is what they do. Oh, that's the problem.
It might be like one of my dreams. It doesn't have to be your dream. I know you'd probably want a boat for each lake. That's probably pretty solid for you, but.
I don't have a problem with it. I just don't want to be on top of Keith Springs Mountain. Belvedere, go find me a piece of property that's out between Winchester and Huntsville. You know what I mean? Go find me something that's between Winchester and Huntsville, Fayetteville, Belvedere, something like that. Find me something there. I don't want to go that. Although I'd love to be closer to Gunnersville, there's no doubt. But still, I just don't want to be up. So anyway, I'm hoping that tomorrow it gets canceled because it's going to be a muddy mess.
Yeah.
I hope they're like, oh, you got to see it in the sunshine. Okay, fine, whatever. Are we able to get rid of the mistake post of the Friday Trifecta? Can you get rid of that thing?
What you need to understand moving forward is that I can replace the image within the hour, so it is completely replaced. That is the post. Like, I mean, it is changed. It is the right thing.
Okay, so why does it still pop up on mine? It shows both.
Refresh the feed and maybe retweet the other one. Probably.
Yeah, no, I never retweeted the other one because I saw immediately it was wrong.
Yeah, and I noticed that it was wrong because I knew yesterday you said 4. And
okay, it's gone now.
Yeah,
I think it's gone now.
It's right now. So
okay, yeah, it's correct. Okay, good. I just don't want people making the wrong picks. So that'll be a good thing. Did you watch the game last night? It was a spectacular game.
Of course I did. It was a lot of fun, and I got to tell you this much: Malachi Toney. He was on my radar the first round of the playoffs, and he's just lived up to all the expectations. He is so fast, and he's just a freshman. He's only 18 years old. Yeah,
he was 17 when he played against Notre Dame.
One of the best.
He was 17 years old. How about a 10 seed in the national championship game? I mean, this is the expanded playoff. This team would have never even sniffed the playoff just a couple of years ago, and now we got a 10 seed that slipped in by getting in front of Notre Dame. We've got a 10 seed going to the national championship game. I think it's good overall. Look, I was pulling for the SEC last night. I made a little bit of pocket change last night with Miami, but I was still pulling for the SEC. And it's it is what it is right now. The SEC, too many teams in the SEC are not playing SEC football, and they got to get that straightened out. I mean, it's the conference is not garbage. It's not over. It's not overrated. Not any of those things. It's just not getting to the championship game the last 3 years. I mean, it's just it is what it is. So, what are you going to do with that?
It was definitely impressive. Now tonight should be just as much fun. Oregon is such a flashy offense, such a solid defense, and then Indiana just about the same. I know you'll talk about it a little bit more, but I will say I'm happy with the Final Four. These teams that usually aren't a part of the playoffs in general, except for maybe in Oregon, are really showing us what the future of college football could be like, and it's a lot of parity, I will say, across the country.
It's more. Well, that's what the transfer portal has done. I mean, look, Miami's got an SEC quarterback, right? They got the quarterback from Georgia, and how apropos for him that he is now playing for a national championship. I mean, I feel good for Carson Beck. He is ugly, but I feel good for him. He went to Miami because his girlfriend went to school there. He transfers to Miami, and then she dumps him. But I'm happy for Carson Beck. I think that's cool, and I love the way they play, and I love the way Indiana plays. We'll see if we get Indiana and Miami. I'm really hoping that we do. I'll be totally honest with you. I really hope that we do. Oregon, a little more balance. Looking for Indiana and Miami in that thing. What the heck is going on right now? Can you hear that?
I heard something.
Something's going on.
You got like an animal.
See, I don't have the insulation. You're sitting in the Neighbors Broadcast Empire, and I'm sitting in the Big Dog Production Studio. And the Big Dog Production Studio is a 110-year-old building, and I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I don't have the insulation that you've got. That's for sure. All right. What do you think about my Friday night national championship game suggestion? Why do we got to have it next Monday? Wouldn't it be better if it was next Friday?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I wouldn't mind it. It would be a good way to end off the week and then get the NFL started. But I think that with it being on a Friday, it can be quickly overshadowed by the playoff games. So maybe Monday could keep it the same. I think that's fine. It's like the cherry on top.
Yeah, but you got to be up till the middle of the night. You and I were texting each other at 11:30 last night.
Yeah, we were.
And you got to be there. I get up at 6, and you get up at 5:30 maybe. I don't know, 6, 5:45, something like that.
I mean, that's going to suck, but it's like I already stayed up for Monday Night Football, so what's an extra game on a Monday, going to do?
But it's a national championship game. There's more people watching it than watch Monday Night Football, and you can't have a party. You can't. I mean, it's I always say I wish the Super Bowl was on Saturday. If it was Super Bowl, it should be on Saturday night so that people can have big parties and then they do what they do, and then the next day they can chill. Anyway. All right, we'll get a break. We'll come back and start taking your phone calls next. Philip will be up first. He got in first, and there are open. Hey, it's Football Friday. I got a Friday trifecta here that is sweet. I got a dozen points on the line. It's time for you to get in. 256-576-4977 on the Thom Abraham Show.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Mike Owen and Owen Home Appliance. Mike has over 25 years' experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance also prides themselves on community involvement as well. They get involved in all kinds of things, sponsoring local teams and events and so on, and they make sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. It's Owen Home Appliance. And welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. All football music for you on a Football Friday. And that extends, by the way, way beyond the national championship game and the Super Bowl. It does. And I'll be honest with you. I love me some spring football. You know me, right? I can't wait for the Birmingham Stallions under A.J. McCarron. There's a lot of changes going on in the league. We're not going to spend time on it now. We will when it gets closer to March and what's going on there with the disbursement of people. There are 3 new teams, and everybody's playing in soccer stadiums now, which is perfect, except for Birmingham and St. Louis, which are still playing in big stadiums. But there is I'm always fired up for it because it's football, and I just love me some football. All right, another guy that loves him some football and is up first here, Philip. Philip, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm all right, Tom. Couple things from last night. Number one, sorry I blew up your phone last night, but
I was enjoying it. No, I was enjoying it. It was hilarious. You're like, bombs.
So, the Ole Miss coach.
Yeah, Pete Golding.
Dude.
Who, by the way, all right, go ahead. You say what you're going to say because I have a thought on it, but go ahead.
Okay, get a haircut, number one. Number two, shave that crap off your face. It looks like garbage. And put a freaking shirt on. You don't have to wear a 3-piece suit. We don't have to go back to the Landry days. But for the love of God, represent yourself a little bit. Don't come out in a freaking hoodie.
Wait, I got a hoodie and a beard? I'm doing a show right now. I got a hoodie and a beard going.
You're not the head coach in a semifinal college football playoff.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. Come on, dude. And that stupid hat. Now, what's his name from back in the day that wore the hat like that? That's different. He was older.
You mean the visor?
Older. Yes.
The visor? Oh, you talking about like Steve Spurrier? He can't wear a visor? You don't want Pete Golding wearing a visor? Okay.
Steve Spurrier looked good in that. This guy looked like a bum that they pulled out of a dumpster. Unlike the Miami head coach, who granted was wearing golf wear. Here's a life choice decision, okay? if there are golf courses in America that won't let you play wearing what you're wearing, you might want to think your wardrobe, decision.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Let's clap.
And as much as I love, as much as I love a hoodie,
Moulton comes on your show and flashes the
yeah. And as much as I love a hoodie, I wouldn't wear a hoodie as a head coach in a football game. I would not. I would have a golf like if you feel like you got to wear something a little warmer, I would have the golf shirt on, and over that I would have a really nice warm up jacket type thing with the embroidered logo on it, and something like that. That's how I'd be. That's personally how I'd be wearing it. Golding has worn that. He's been a visor guy though ever since he was like a GA at Alabama. He's worn a visor forever. As long as I can remember, Pete Golding is. But I'll just say this from a football standpoint, and I know there was a lot made about Pete Golding, what he did with the defense there and everything else. I'm going to tell you, they ran him off on a rail out of Alabama when he was the defensive coordinator at Alabama. Pete Golding, I'm putting it on record right now. It's January 9th at 10:35 Central Time, 11:35 Eastern Time. Pete Golding is going to fail at Ole Miss. I mean, that you watch that program go right back to the dumpster. I'm just telling you, I think Pete Golding is going to fail as a head coach at Ole Miss.
All right. Now let's get to this quarterback from Miami. I started to second guess remember 2 or 3 weeks ago when Danica was texting you, talking about the greatest game he'd ever seen in his life, and I'm texting you saying this is the most abhorrent football game I've ever seen in my life. Wasn't that Miami? And I get Texas Tech and Texas A&M confused all the time.
Yeah, it was Texas A&M. It was A&M in Miami. Yeah, it was a defensive struggle. Yeah, it was a defensive game. There was no doubt.
That's not a defensive struggle. That's two quarterbacks who do not belong playing quarterback. How much is this? And now I know I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not over-exaggerating. Because I heard it all night last night, and I heard it all morning this morning. When you suck for 55 minutes of the game, and then somehow whip up some kind of little drive and do a couple. When you can't throw the ball past the line of scrimmage and hit somebody who's not surrounded by defensive players, you suck. You don't need to be a quarterback. That dude was horrible. He will never, ever, ever make it in the NFL. His daddy has to be paying the University of Miami billions of dollars to allow him to be the quarterback. Because that team is too freaking good. They are too solid to have that pathetic. Jesus, get a freaking female cheerleader to get behind center and throw the ball. That guy is horrible. What is he doing back there?
He threw for 268 yards. He was 23 of 37 with 2 touchdowns for 268. I mean, he hit the one long ball down the field. He's not, look, as a pro prospect, when he came in at Georgia, they thought that he was a guy that was a top pro prospect. He's not a top pro prospect. He will get drafted somewhere in the 3rd, 4th round, 5th round, maybe something like that. He'll get drafted. I'll tell you what, I think Carson Beck will get drafted higher than what Shadur Sanders got drafted. And he, he's a smart kid that manages the game. He's not dynamic. And I don't think he's a starter in the NFL. But he might hang around for a little while and get paid as a backup.
But I told you this when it was the Miami A&M game. You're a quarterback. You are a quarterback. Throwing the ball with some degree of accuracy should be a pretty important asset to have. When you're throwing the ball at people's feet, you can't find the open guy. You can't hit the layup where the dudes are running wide open down the field and you just completely cluster bust that throw. He has no business back there. Mm-hmm. He has zero. That was the worst quarterbacking. Miami won in spite of him, not because of him. If they need him to win, and this is why Indiana's going to blow their doors off. Indiana's going to absolutely destroy them. But I found myself, that was so hard to watch. I found myself, even though I had a lot of money on my hand and was pulling for the ACC, I was like, I hope they lose for having that guy representing them at the quarterback position. It was horrible. It was horrible. And everybody's talking about it. He's horrible. He reminds me of a kid that I played baseball with that literally was a starter on the team because his daddy bought the uniform. He's horrible.
All right. Do you want to pick these NFL games for the trifecta?
Yeah. And you should have 6, by the way. Your trifecta sucks again. You should have 6, but let's do it.
Okay. You are. Bama Brad just texted in. He says, man, Philip's being such a downer. You are a bit of a downer today. I mean, you need to have a little cheerier outlook on life, man. I mean, come on. You know how long it would take to do 6 picks? It'd be crazy. All right. The Packers are a pick'em at Chicago.
Bears.
The Bears.
The Bills are a pick'em at Jacksonville.
Jaguars.
Jag off!
Yeah, jag off. How you been, jag off?
The Chargers get 3.5 at the Patriots.
Patriots.
Because it sucks to lose.
And the 49ers get 4.5 at the Eagles.
49ers.
I don't know nothing about that.
All right, we got you in, man. Have a better outlook. Weekend. All right, man. You too. Have a great weekend. Man. Bit of a downer there, John. I mean, Philip just said, like, I don't know what the deal is there, but he's kind of down on everything.
I didn't think Carson Beck was too bad yesterday.
He wasn't. He was what he is.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, he said, look, Carson Beck's been playing quarterback in college for 7 years.
That's the crazy thing. That's where he's probably just, he's had enough time to fail and get better.
Yeah.
He's still throwing interceptions, but
he's going to graduate and retire at the same time. It just is what it is. All right. Where are we going next? Papa T? I don't even know where you got me next. What happened to the guys? There were 2 other guys. Was it Papa T next? Papa T, welcome in. How are you?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. I appreciate you going down. I heard you went down there and picked up your T-shirt down at Oklahoma Plaza. That place is pretty cool, isn't it?
Man, I tell you what, I can't carry my wife down there. I'll be spending a lot of money. I need to win the contest if she ever gets down there. Lord have mercy. Because I don't like to spend money, and I almost bought that countertop as soon as you walk into the door to the left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Actually, a range. And
yeah. I like the one that, the range. I like when the cooktop is buried in the island, and you just throw it. You just put the stuff right on it. Yeah. You put those rubber things down and it cooks convection or what. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Then that lady that was sitting there, he was showing it to, she sticks her hand down there, and I almost told her, no, ma'am. And it's
that's not hot.
Oh, my God. Technology they come up with.
It's not even hot. It's not even heat. It's just
put
weird.
Her hand on the eye where the rubber thing just boiled water in 2 minutes. It was steam coming out of the pot. And they moved the rubber thing. She sticks her hand down there, and it's no heat at all.
Nuts. All right, what do you got here? Packers and a pick'em at the Bears.
Let's go with the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bills are a pick'em at the Jags.
Let's go with the Bills.
Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout.
Kramer loves when they do that. Chargers get 3.5 at the Patriots.
I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Because it sucks to lose.
And the 49ers get 4.5 at the Eagles.
Let's go with the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly!
All right, we got you in, man.
Only thing I want to know, who's going to win tonight, Oregon, Indiana? Who you say?
I got Indiana.
All right.
I got
Have
Indiana.
a good day, buddy, and I'll talk to you next week.
All right. Appreciate you. It's a good job by you. John, we need to get you down there with your cameras. We need to get you down there and shoot a commercial for Owen Home Appliance that we can put on our feed. I mean, they're such great sponsors.
Yeah, and I've been there a few times, and I know that they were doing some work, which kind of pushed it back. But I think they're all wrapped up with that, and now their place is like full form. And every time I go there, something new and something that surprises even me.
I mean, what it is in the island, right? So they have an island, and then in the island is the cooktop, and then you throw these rubber things down, these little plastic things down that are around like the bottom of your pot, and you throw that down and put the pot on top of it, and it cooks it. I don't know what it's called, convection or some kind of something.
I don't know. You're
how
the one
it
that says it in the ad.
Oh, do I? No, I don't. I don't think I say that word, do I?
Yeah.
I don't know. But like he says, the water's boiling in 5 minutes. I mean, in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, the water's boiling. It somehow it's making the water boil, and then you take the pot off of the thing and the little rubber thing. You put your hand right on the countertop, and there's no heat, so that it's not doing it by heat. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an appliance guy over here. I'm just saying, it's amazing.
Yeah. Back then, if you tried to do something like that, you get burnt at the stake.
Oh, it'd be ridiculous. Be awful. We need to get you down there, though. So what happened? A couple of those guys. We had two other guys that were in there. Who dropped? Ron?
I think it might have been just the length of Philip's little rant he had there.
Yeah, Philip started us out with a downer, man. I mean, it was like I don't know what was I don't know what the deal was there with Philip. But he's kind of that way these days. You know what I mean? He's been that way a little bit. I'm not sure what the story is. By the way, Miami, who will be playing at home. Now, it's not like it's a home game for Miami, but they'll be playing a national championship game 20 minutes from the campus. Okay, they'll be playing at home. Now, they'll be the visiting team, so they'll be in white. And Indiana or Oregon will be in their home uniform. So Indiana or Oregon is going to be the home team. So the question that I have is, Miami has their locker room. The Dolphins have their locker room. Then there's a visiting locker room for the NFL. Then there's a visiting locker room for college. And then there's the Miami Hurricane locker room. So there's 4 locker rooms there at the stadium. Okay? So Miami has their own locker room there with all their stuff and everything else. And you know what? All the championships that they've won and everything else is all in there. So my question is, will Miami get to use their home locker room? Will the Hurricanes use the Canes locker room, and the visiting Indiana Hoosiers or Oregon Ducks, who will be the home team, will they be in the visitor locker room? Because on the one hand, you'd think that, well, maybe the home locker room is better than the visitor locker room, maybe, probably, whatever. But if you're Miami, you almost want to say, you know what, go ahead, use our locker room. Because when they walk in there, is it going to be intimidating at all? If you're Indiana and you've never won anything but basketball championships, if you're those Indiana kids and you go into that locker room and you're seeing Ray Lewis's locker and Michael Irvin's locker and this guy's locker and these pictures of all the famous Miami players, and then you're going to be seeing the 4 national championship years and all of that kind of stuff in the locker room, and green and orange and green everywhere and everything else, that might be a little bit intimidating. If I were Kurt Signetti, I would have to do one of two things. One, I'd say, you know what, we'll take the visitor locker room, but we don't need to go in their locker room. That's too much. I don't want to see all of that. Or you got to send somebody in there ahead of time, and you got to cover everything up with sheets and stuff. Just cover it up. You know, I think you tell Miami, you use your locker room. We'll take the visitor locker room. And then from a fan standpoint, look, you can talk all you want about Miami being a national team and having a national fan base. Let me tell you something. That was an Ole Miss home game last night. You saw it. That whole stadium was powder blue and red. I think it was 80% Ole Miss fans there. Miami fans, Miami is not a national product. I don't believe they are. They don't even show up at home. They're fans. I don't think it happens. Now, there'll be a lot of Miami fans. I mean, it's in Miami. So there'll be a lot of Miami fans. But ticket distribution is, relatively even. Let's get a break. We will come back. Final segment of hour number 1 next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Indiana, 3.5-point favorite over Oregon in the Peach Bowl at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta tonight. The winner advances to beat Miami for the national championship. Best bets on the board. VSiN host Matt Humans and Tim Murray. And Bruce Marshall, a VSiN contributor, like Oregon at plus 3.5. See the best bets for every VSiN host and contributor at vsin.com/picks. Last night, Miami knocked off Ole Miss 31-27 to win the Fiesta Bowl and advance to the national title game. Look at headlines. Indiana favored by 5.5, Oregon by 2.5 over the Hurricanes in the title game. For more, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun, legendary food.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Showers and thunderstorms through the entire afternoon, the evening, and then even as we head into the overnight across the Tennessee Valley. We are going to get a significant amount of rain, some of us looking at 5 or even 6 inches. We could get some stronger thunderstorms in the mix as well, but the overall threat for severe weather is incredibly low. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s, dropping into the mid 50s as we head into the overnight.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, longtime friends of the show. To be honest with you, it's been about 20 years that we have been hooked up with TOC, and they just do such a great job. They service the Huntsville Havoc, Alabama A&M, most of the high schools in the region. They got 13 locations all throughout the Tennessee Valley. So if you have an orthopedic problem, if you're considering professional care, Really, TOC, it's the only logical choice. You need to contact TOC. Make your appointment. When you need them, they're there. Always in the Tennessee Valley, TOC. Well, you made one guy happy, that's for sure. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Wolverine Dan and I sparring at each other. We love taking little shots back and forth. It's pretty funny. He's talking about the Red Wings, and I think it was Patrick Kane that scored his 500th goal last night. He scored all of his goals with Chicago. He's been with the Red Wings now for a minute, and so he did do that. Then he's like, we're going to the Stanley Cup, and apparently he's got some jingling on the Red Wings to win it all, which is, just a good flyer bet. So he's like, I'm telling you, man, Stanley Cup, baby. I'm like, you know what? You need to be thinking about just how about make the playoffs first? How about let's do that? How about let's just see the Red Wings make the playoffs? It's been 10 years since they were even in the playoffs. Not since they won a cup, since they were in the playoffs. How about just make the playoffs? So then he shifts gears and goes into the Big Ten and show me the Big Ten's record in the bowl season, which is so meaningless. You got to look at the regular season. You got to look at it. If you look at the season and if you look at the regular season and the bowl season, including the bowl season, the SEC is a 728 winning percentage. The Big Ten had a 697 winning percentage. Big Ten was 53-14 against non-conference teams. The SEC was 59-15. So the SEC is, look, the conferences are pretty much equal now. But the SEC, it's not like the SEC is horrible. They had the best winning percentage outside their own conference. And the Big Ten was 13-0 against the MAC. Stop playing 13 games against the MAC, for God's sakes. All right, coming up next, we had a new audience, plus Kevin Rogers joins us from prizepicks.com. Get his take on Miami. He's down there in Miami. And also get his take on the games coming up this weekend. Next, right here in the Thom Abraham Show.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the play.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you love fishing, listen up. Bring the whole family to the largest fishing expo in Alabama history. Alabama's Ultimate Fishing Expo is January 16th through 18th at the new Omniplex in Coleman. Pro seminars, show-only deals, live demos, and hundreds of booths full of rods, reels, tackle, and more. You could even win a new Ranger boat. For all the details, go to ultimatefishingexpo.com. Don't miss Alabama's Ultimate Fishing Weekend.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Scott Tyson here with the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sportsman. The college football playoff semifinals. Miami's Carson Beck would scramble for a 3-yard touchdown with 18 seconds left to send the Hurricanes to the national championship game on their home field for the first time since 2001 as they hold off Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl 31-27. Tonight, number 1 Indiana, number 5 Oregon meet in the second semifinal. 6:30 kickoff from the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. Indiana, 3.5-point favorite. Thursday night, GSC basketball. UAH's last second 3-point try would be off the mark as Montevallo would hold on for a 71-68 win. UAH women extend their school record win streak to 13 games as they knock off the Falcons 64-56. Both teams back in action Saturday on the road at Auburn-Montgomery. SEC women's hoops. Alabama knocks off 6th-ranked Kentucky 64-51. Make sure and download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on. That's my dog. Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Oh, it is Football Friday in the doghouse. We welcome in a new audience listening on Nashville Sports Radio in Nashville and Murfreesboro to go along with our friends on 97.7 ESPN in Huntsville and WCDT in Winchester. Of course, all football music on a Football Friday, no matter what time of year it is. Phone lines are open. We'll get back to those phone lines here in just a little bit. Feel free to jump in and contribute to 256-576-4977. That number is good wherever and however you consume the show. Text window is open as well. Check that out at 732-9TA show, 732-982-7469. And finally, you can watch the show as well, WZZN TV on the YouTube or on the Facebook or the X. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. We do have a Friday trifecta out there for you, and we've got major points on the big board for you as well. It's the Owen Home Appliance Friday trifecta. Of course, our grand prize of the $10,400 value, Gordon Ramsay kitchen with all the kitchen appliances. It's very, very cool. We're going with Packers and Bears. I'm just going pick them there. That line has bounced back and forth. Bills and Jags, we're going pick them there. Chargers plus 3.5 at the Patriots. 49ers plus 4.5 at the Eagles. We'll get back to your calls on that in just a little bit. But joining us now, Kevin Rogers from prizepicks.com and a longtime radio guy and voice in Miami. He joins us, talk a little bit about the Canes and the Dolphins situation, and maybe he'll help us out with some of these games that are coming up as well. K-Raj, it's been a minute, man, since I've had you on the show. How are you?
Tom, I'm doing well. It's been a little bit of time, but I guess not much has changed down here. At least it's still warm, which is good this time of year as opposed to everywhere else.
Well, the thing that's changed is the Miami Hurricanes taking a shot at a national championship for the first time in 20 years. So that's a pretty cool thing. And, I've often talked about the fact that Miami is a great sports town when the teams are great. And for years, we've seen the Hurricanes play games there, at the Dolphin Stadium. And if it's not Florida State or Florida, the stadium is half empty. And, it's not like, doesn't have that college atmosphere, the college town atmosphere. But how are people responding now with the Canes, now coming home to play a national championship game in their own building?
It's really unbelievable. Just the whole thing when you kind of go back and, like you mentioned, all the struggles since they moved to the ACC in 2003, I think it was, and never winning an ACC championship and could never relive the glory years in a sense. And, you see on the sidelines, see Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, Edgerrin James, all these other guys, going back, these are the days that you long for. And the only memories is if you saw like those guys and not the current players. And, they made strides by getting Cam Ward last year and seeing what they did, but they melted down late and couldn't get into the college football playoff. So they had to go back to that drawing board of we need a veteran quarterback, that we can't, go with a young guy. And we see where all these programs are doing with NIL and all that other stuff. But getting Carson Beck, it really worked out for this team. They needed a veteran quarterback to run the show. And there's a lot of question marks about Mario Cristobal, if he's the right guy. Of course, he played at Miami. So, he got the culture, but was he the right guy? And, it's all worked out with that win over Notre Dame to start the season. And, yeah, they did stub their toe against Louisville. They didn't play well early in that game and still had a shot to win it. The SMU game, they lose in overtime. They had a shot to win in that game. So when you look at what they've done, they had 2 losses, in games that they could have won, that they didn't get blown out in those games. So I think it was kind of ridiculous when, the thought, well, do they belong? I don't know. They did belong. That they needed a shot and see what they could do. And once they got in the tournament, if they lose at Texas A&M, so be it. All right. Oh, well, the committee was right, because now we see what happened to Alabama. Oh, the committee was right. They didn't belong there. But as far as Miami goes, to beat Texas A&M, to limit them, and then to beat Ohio State, and then to beat Ole Miss, that's a really good job to beat those 3 teams. And yes, it's going to be very tough the next game. At least you have the game at home, and you're going to play the best team out of the 4 coming up next. It's a lot of excitement, I guess, to answer your question, Tom. A lot of excitement. And, now this team has kind of gotten back to what it was from a long time ago. Maybe not the same kind of superstars they had years ago, but still there's a lot of excitement.
Well, they play such a physical brand of football. And, and I said on the show today that this is once again in Ole Miss, an SEC team getting beaten by a team playing SEC football. That's what happened to Alabama against Indiana. And now it happened again last night, where Miami ran the ball for over 100 yards more than Ole Miss. And in fact, if you take out the 173-yard touchdown run by Kewan Lacey, it's 175 yards. They called 47 running plays to just 20 for Ole Miss. They're doing Mario Cristobal doing what they did at Alabama when he was there. I mean, they're lining up and knocking the snot out of you, knocking you off the ball, and having a quarterback make a few plays here and there. And I don't say this as a disrespect to A.J. McCarron, but Carson Beck is playing like A.J. McCarron, a guy who ends up being a 5th-round draft pick and really doesn't do anything in pro football, but a guy who is a veteran who doesn't screw it up. When he screwed it up against Louisville, they lost. And now he doesn't screw it up. And you can win with a guy like that when you pound the ball the way they do and play great defense.
Well, yeah, and I think that you need a competent quarterback, and that you need someone, and that sounds like an insult in a way, but you need someone who can run the show that you can trust, but also doesn't need to light it up and throw for 6,000 yards. Like that, you don't need necessarily. And when you look at like what Cam Ward did last year, that Cam Ward was just unbelievable back there, but they couldn't get over the hump with him, and it wasn't his fault by any stretch. But like I said earlier, that you can't go with a sophomore quarterback or a junior quarterback. You almost need at this point, if you want to win, you need a guy that's been there before. And Carson Beck played in the SEC. So, they had that. And you see what Malachi Toney has done and how explosive he is, that he's, the centerpiece of that offense and that he could just bust one at any time. And we saw that one touchdown that he scored. Even Beck, for all this that we're talking about, he still scored the game-winning touchdown last night.
Yeah.
But like you said, these aren't. Yes, last night was a high-scoring game, but for the most part, they're winning these games more of like slugfest. They're not winning 38-31 games for the most part. And look, you beat so far 2 SEC teams and the defending national champion. You belong. Simple as that. And for all the garbage that the guy from Ohio State was saying, we beat him 9 times out of 10. Guess what? Ohio State. But Ohio State, Tom, last year was what Miami is this year in a sense that you questioned Ohio State if they were going to get in last year because they didn't win the Big Ten championship. You kind of wondered, did they belong? They went on that run. And this is what Miami is doing this year. So we know you don't have to necessarily win your conference championship. We know how the teams with the bye have been terrible. They're 1-7 so far through the 2 years. So that doesn't do you any good. So they did belong. Yes, you could see there's like 16 good teams in the country that could win the championship, and a couple get left out. It's just the way the bracket's built. But Miami belongs in there. They've proven it. It's not a fluke. And now they'll have another tough test in the next game.
It's great for the ACC. I mean, I love it for the ACC because, I don't think – it looks like obviously the Big Ten and the SEC are just different than the rest. They feel like they're the dominant conferences, but the ACC is the only one to break through in the 11 years of the college football playoff. The ACC is the only one to win a championship outside of the Big Ten and the SEC, and that was Clemson, which won 2 of them. And if Clemson can get back to being Clemson and Florida State can go back to where they were a couple of years ago and be a thing, and now Miami is a thing, now you start building and say, well, maybe there is a third conference, because I don't think the Big 12 is all of that. I mean, I just don't. And the ACC doesn't have depth, but it would be nice to see 3 or 4 decent teams atop the ACC. And Miami certainly proven that they belong. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, like you said, Florida State's trying to figure it out with Norvell the last few years, and Clemson, we know, will eventually get back. And yeah, the ACC has never been a great football conference. I think we've always known that when Florida State ran it before the expansion, it was Florida State and Georgia Tech were kind of the big names, and then Clemson got good with Dabo, and then they expanded. And Virginia Tech, for a couple of years, they won some ACC championships. And, Louisville's been okay. They just haven't been able to sustain it because they have more basketball schools in that conference than what the SEC and the Big Ten have. And yes, the Big Ten got the 4 best teams out of the Pac-12 to join their conference. So it's like, yeah, of course you're going to be bolstered. And the SEC, it's Oklahoma and Texas. Yeah, no disrespect to Cal and Stanford and SMU, but yeah, Oklahoma and Texas are going to be a bit of an upgrade over those schools. So yes, you're going to be the best conference in football. But again, it's just turned where I know we always like to go to conference affiliation. And Miami can definitely, if you threw Miami in the SEC, they're definitely going to be one of the better teams. When I say the best, but they're not like a dog in that conference. So,
right.
I mean, you look at what Vanderbilt did. Like Vanderbilt the last 2 seasons. I mean, you saw how good they were. So you don't have to necessarily look at conference affiliation. You throw Miami in the SEC, they'd be fine.
I know Kevin Rogers with us from Miami. I know that they're never going to call it, but that was interference in that last play. I mean, realistically, yeah.
Was there contact? Absolutely. Everyone knows there was contact. Should have been called. I mean, look, the difference is too. What did the play start in the 35 or so? Was that where the pass came from?
30-yard line, and that ball. If the ball was airmailed out of the end zone, to be one thing, it looked like the kid would have been able to make the catch in the back corner of the end zone, but he kind of got mugged a little bit there.
Okay, but my point is that the good news is that this isn't the NFL where it would have been on the 1. So you get the 15.
That's
it
true.
Still isn't
an
automatic that you score there.
Exactly. Yeah, would have moved the ball to the 15.
So if they call that, it's not like, they got the ball at the 1 and they got screwed and they didn't have an opportunity. Like, you still got to score from the 15 and not. And you know what happened too? The irony is the kicker for Ole Miss, who was unbelievable, who I think will probably get drafted. I mean, eventually, because he has an unbelievable leg. He missed that earlier field goal. He makes that. You set up the field goal there to win it. You don't have to worry about that last play because you're going to set up a field goal to win it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point for sure. You mentioned the uncertainty about Cristobal. I mean, and there was, that there was some talk about it. Now they're going to put a statue up for him probably if they're able to win that game next Monday night. And by the way, why do we have to wait all the way till Monday? I get you want to stay away from the NFL playoffs, and I've been harping on this for a month and a half now. I mean, that we're not playing playoff games in December. We could have had this thing wrapped up on January 5th like they did with the FCS. But even now that the game is in the middle of the month, why Monday night? Why not Friday night? I mean, we're already playing tonight, right? We're playing last night, Thursday night, Friday night for the semifinal games. Why isn't the national championship game next Friday night, which is easier and better for people who do travel to the game, and easier and better for people that want to have parties or have a beverage after the game, or sleep in on Saturday morning and be able to stay up all night watching the game and the post game stuff? Why does it have to be on Monday? If we screwed the whole thing up anyway, why not play next Friday night with the national championship game?
My only observation, it's MLK Day. It's a holiday. That's my only.
Yeah, but you got to go to work Tuesday. Everybody's got to go to work on Tuesday.
But here's the problem, Tom, is that when everyone discusses the Super Bowl and they say that Monday should be a holiday after the Super Bowl, the world is watching. I just feel like college football fan, it's just not going to have the same audience. That's why they don't care, I guess, where they put it, because people
they'll have 20 million. Yeah, they'll still have 20 million people watching it.
An audience, not a Super Bowl audience.
No, it's not 100 million, but it's 20 million. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But as you said about Cristobal, so I wonder now, it's got to be, sports talk radio in Miami. Has anyone ever said, they ought to, Cristobal would be pretty good if he just moved over into the teal locker room from the orange and green locker room. I mean, they'd probably love to see him be coaching the Dolphins right now, the way he's coaching.
I mean, honestly, yes, I know it's like a joke, but he's helped himself. I mean, I guess if we're transitioning into this, where I think that finally Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, knows he needed to make a change, that he saw this wasn't working anymore. And It's interesting about Mike McDaniel. I didn't even realize he had a winning record, that after 4 years, you would think he would have been terrible, and he was okay. He went to the playoffs twice. Here's my issue. Here's my number one issue with him, Tom. My number one issue with Mike McDaniel is when you watch these NFL films or, these highlights of coaches in the locker room after the game, after a win, they talk about the game ball, and they do all this stuff. And they're Dan Campbell's kind of he's kind of like a cartoon character, some of the stuff he does. But a lot of these coaches, I feel like there's a motivation there, that there's something there, that they get the team pumped up. I feel this guy didn't have it. He just did, he was kind of like he shoots from a football dork, he was a guy, he could draw up plays, he could do these other things, but I didn't believe he would fire up 53 men. He would not get them going. And they need a guy that could fire you up. That's what I think they really need as far as a personality. And he didn't have that personality. And you looked at him, and somebody used a term like nebbish, just like a guy that just doesn't do much for you. He doesn't get you excited. So I'm glad they made the move. It's too bad for him. He'll find a job. He'll be coaches, that they get hired to get fired, but they'll find other jobs soon. So he'll find a job somewhere else. They just need to find another guy. And John Harbaugh, the rumors are there that, he wanted Jim Harbaugh years ago because of the Michigan connection. Now John's available. I don't know where John's going to go, if he ends up going to the Giants or he goes to the Dolphins or somewhere else. But they just need someone with a reputation, someone that kind of just lights the fire under you and not just a play caller.
Yeah, well, Mike McDaniel, he's got to be 145 pounds soaking wet. He doesn't inspire that kind of leadership that professional players kind of need more. He is very cerebral. He's a Harvard guy, I think. He's he's Yale. He's a Yale guy, and he is he's an offensive savant. He's going to make a very nice offensive coordinator for somebody, but he needs to go back to the booth and stay up there and just sit there and cook up plays and things like that. John Harbaugh, a betting favorite, and he's a more than even money favorite. He's a 4-7 -175 favorite to be the next Dolphin coach. Interesting name down the list just a little bit at 8-1. A guy that's getting a lot of love, around a lot of places, is Don Shula's grandson, Chris. He's 8-1. And wouldn't that be something if Chris Shula became the head coach of the Miami Dolphins? I wonder how that would be received.
I don't know. I mean, I think you got to get away from that name. It's just because you're never, ever, ever going to live up to it, ever. And, even though it's unrelated, like David Shula, he went to the Bengals and like that didn't work out. And it's just like that name. It's like a name of you're a famous Hollywood actor, and it's like your child. You got to carry on the name. And it's like you got big shoes to fill. As far as what I just find interesting, Tom, is that Mike McDaniel, that it came out like a day or two before. It's like, oh, well, they had the GM search because Chris Greer got let go and Troy Aikman is part of the GM search. They hired a GM from the Packers. But, Mike McDaniel seems safe. And then John Harbaugh gets fired, and then Mike McDaniel gets fired.
Yeah.
So you kind of wonder, like, ooh, was there a connection? They say, oh, there's no connection. Give me a break. There was no connection. You would have fired Mike McDaniel on Monday if you knew that, not let him sit around for a few days and wait for Harbaugh to get fired. Like, oh, by the way, we're going to move on from you.
Is this good for Tua or bad for Tua that this one, does he get thrown out with the bathwater here, or do you sit and wait and see? I mean, they're committed to him financially. Do you sit and wait and see who the next guy is and whether the next guy would say, you know what, I can work with that guy. I can work with that Hawaiian. We'll see if we can't get something going again.
I don't. I think you got to move on from Tua at this point. I compare it to the Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff trade, that both those guys needed to move, and they both worked out for both of them. Stafford won Super Bowl with the Rams, and Goff succeeded in Detroit. That you needed to make a move where I feel like Tua needs to go somewhere different, and they need a different quarterback here, an established one, and not start all over again. But I think the guy they need, and notwithstanding the whole John Harbaugh stuff, they need to get like Lamar Jackson. He's from I think Pompano Beach or from Broward or from Palm County or something like that. They need a guy like that. They need somebody like that really will. That he probably needs a new home. He needs somewhere. He needs just a change, and probably coming back to South Florida. It would help the Dolphins franchise. It would reinvigorate them to have a guy like that. I think like that's like the guy that they need. Just bring him in, acquire him somehow, let Tua start over again somewhere else. And they just need they need like a hard reset with it, because somebody wrote on social media, which is really interesting. They said that Flores was too hard on Tua and he got fired. McDaniel was too chummy with him and got fired. So it's like there's no in between. Right. You're too close to him and you get fired, or you bash him and you get fired, and he's still here. I know they're stuck with him, but I'm in the camp, Tom, and I know it's kind of like going back years. I still was on the side of them taking Tua ahead of Herbert, because they didn't get Burrow, obviously, who was ahead of them. Tua would have been the top quarterback if he didn't get hurt at Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he slid down. I thought that was the guy who, this is a guy that could really help the franchise. And Herbert, yeah, he was good at Oregon, and we know he's a much bigger guy, and the bigger guys succeed in the NFL as opposed to the small guy doesn't work anymore. The Drew Brees thing doesn't work anymore. You need to be 6'4", 6'5". It just, yes, the concussions didn't help him, but I still think he was the guy at the time. And all these things just didn't happen. Flores wasn't the right coach for him. They did make the playoffs a few times, but then he got hurt. And it just didn't work, but I still don't think it was wrong.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Kevin Rogers is our guest from Miami. All right. So I discovered these prediction markets just about a month or so ago. I didn't even realize that was going on. And I know that you guys do that at Prize Picks, that's a big part of what they do there. And it's fascinating to watch. It was like, last night you get the Canes at 62 cents before the game starts. And then you watch it go up and down and up. And it's like day trading stocks. And I'm involved in the stock market as well. And I don't day trade, but I have stocks that, so I have a brokerage house and so on. But I'm sitting there and you watch it, and it's neat to watch the way it could go up and you could sell and then go down. And I think Miami was all the way down to 31 cents or something at one point with 5 or 6 minutes to go in that game last night. So right now I can get Miami for 36 cents to win the national championship. They're playing in their own building. They're going to be a 5-point dog, 6-point dog probably to Indiana if Indiana wins tonight. 3-point dog to Oregon. What about Miami for 36 cents? I mean, is that a good buy?
Look, I'll be honest with you. I haven't done a lot of the Kalshi and all this other stuff. I really haven't dipped too much into it. And I will say this.
It's the money line,
basically. But they will say, like, prediction market. It's not gambling. It is gambling. Like, it's not. It is. Like, they like to, like, phrase it that it's not. It is. Like, 100% is. But look, if you want to know my opinion for next week, and again, we don't know their opponent yet. I'm just interested. I'm intrigued. Like, I would rather see them play Indiana simply because, you take out the storyline against Oregon when he left Oregon to come to Miami.
Sure.
So we kind of take that storyline out. He doesn't have to, like, worry about that. But secondly, I want to really see. I haven't watched a lot of Indiana football. I'll admit that. I'm in South Florida. I don't watch a lot of Indiana football. But this guy Cignetti and what he's done is remarkable. It's unbelievable how Indiana was a basketball school forever. They stunk in football, and he didn't make them relevant. He made them the best team in the country, like, in 2 years, which is unreal. But at the same time, I would like to see Miami play them and see, like, now you're playing against the top team in the country. Let's see what you can do now. And, it would have been a little embarrassing last night. Okay, embarrassing maybe a strong word. It would have been interesting if they would have lost to a team with, like, half their coaching staff out, or the coaching staff that's distracted with everything going on. So, that was a game. You lose to Ohio State's one thing, you lose to Texas A&M, but, like, that one, I feel like you can't lose. Like, you couldn't lose that game last night. But now you play Indiana potentially, and if you do, I think it's just a great test. It's a great. I think the country would rather see them play Indiana than Oregon. I really believe that.
Yeah, and Oregon's losing both their coordinators too, so you'd be dealing with that again as well. But I think the game is fascinating because it's a 2009 SEC game. That's what it is. That game would be 2 hours and 20 minutes. If they didn't hammer us with so many commercials and everything else, that'd be a 2 hour and 20-minute game because both those teams want to line up and smack it. They're both going to run the ball 40 times in that game, and I just want to see that kind of a football game. A man football game, and it's not going to be smoke and mirrors. If it's Cignetti and if it's Cignetti and Cristobal, two guys that shared an office in Tuscaloosa, that's going to be man-sized football, and I hope for it as well. Kevin Rogers has been our guest. Kevin, you are so good, man, doing a tremendous job. Keep up the good work, and it was nice to catch up with you again, man.
All right, Tom, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll get a break in here. When we come back, the phone lines go back open. 256-576-4977. That will get you into the show. We start taking your calls right after this on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Indiana, 3.5-point favorite over Oregon in the Peach Bowl at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta tonight. The winner advances to beat Miami for the national championship. Best bets on the board, VSiN host Matt Humans and Tim Murray. And Bruce Marshall, a VSiN contributor, like Oregon at plus 3.5. See the best bets for every VSiN host and contributor at vsin.com/picks. Last night, Miami knocked off Ole Miss 31-27 to win the Fiesta Bowl and advance to the national title game. Look at headlines: Indiana favored by 5.5, Oregon by 2.5 over the Hurricanes in the title game. For more, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Showers and thunderstorms through the entire afternoon, the evening, and then even as we head into the overnight across the Tennessee Valley, we are going to get a significant amount of rain, some of us looking at 5 or even 6 inches. We could get some stronger thunderstorms in the mix as well, but the overall threat for severe weather is incredibly low. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s, dropping into the mid 50s as we head into the overnight.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental. And they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the exact machine for you. Now, whether it's new construction or daily work environments or an area that's been neglected for far too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you get the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Call Valley Equipment and ask them for more details on how they can help you out today. Look at John capitulating to the Nashville crowd. Some of us are throwing up a little bit in our mouth. Welcome back on a Football Friday. Glad that you are with us. Phone lines are open. You want to jump on board, you can do it 256-576-4977. That will get you into the show. And we do have a Friday trifecta for you here. It's all these playoff games, not all of them, but 4 of the playoff games this weekend. We'll run those down, and we'll do it with Wolverine Dan, who's up next. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
You need to play Hail to the Victors, brother.
We played it earlier. We actually played it in the first hour. I heard it okay.
Yeah. Let's do the trifecta. And I got a couple things I've been researching again. I don't think you can question this one, but let's do the trifecta.
We'll give it a shot, but you got to let me rebut each point that you put up there. You got to let me come back with something.
Okay.
All right, the Packers are at the Bears, and it's a pick 'em. Packers at the Bears, pick 'em. What do you got?
We double dipped them this year, the Bears. Okay, They're not as good as you think they are, okay? Bottom line, Packers are going to take this, no doubt about it.
Lombardi. Look, I hope you're right. It doesn't feel like it the way they finished the season, but I hope you're right. The Bills.
Yeah, but they're the Truman Show. They're a fake show. We beat them twice.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I don't know that. I mean, it's not like the Lions suck, you know. So I don't know. I don't know if I go by that. I do know this. I know the Packers. The Packers beat the Bears at home, and then the Packers had the Bears beat there, and the Bears got that miracle onside kick, and then scored after that. Miracle. So yeah, it was a miracle. So you know, and the Packers have beaten the Bears to death for the last 10 years. It seems like. You know, the Packers have beaten them. So I hope you're right. We'll see. The Bills are a pick 'em.
Yeah, I'll take the Green Bay, but a sidebar real quick. I want the Lions to get the Miami coach for the offensive coordinator.
Oh, see, I just texted my sons. I want them for the Browns. I would like to see the Browns elevate Jim Schwartz to the head coach and Mike McDaniel offensive coordinator. Just saying.
Suck. We don't.
Well, I'm just saying. You know what? Do you want him to bring Tua with him? Because I think Jared Goff's just about spent. Your quarterback's just about shot. I think your quarterback's shot.
Hey, the guy from Ole Miss is coming to the Lions. You watch. Anyway,
the guy from Ole Miss. You talking about Trinidad Chambliss? The quarterback?
Yeah, he's coming up.
He's not an NFL quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback.
All right, come on. All right, come on. Let's go further.
Bills are a pick 'em in Jacksonville.
I got to go Jacksonville, man.
Jag off! Yeah, jag off. How you been, jag off?
I don't think the Jags are going to get it done. Chargers get 3.5 at the Patriots.
Oh, I got to go with the Chargers. I got the money on the Chargers this year. I got to go Chargers.
Who's got it better than us? No!
And the 49ers get 4.5 at the Eagles.
You know what? I'll take the Niners because I'll take the points.
I don't know nothing about that.
All right, we got you. All right, what was the other point you wanted to make?
So, all right, Chris. All right, first off, Patrick Kane, 2 goals last night. The 5th American player born in America to get over 500 goals. Who's number one?
Who's number one? I'm going to say off the top of my head, and I don't know this for a fact. I'm going to say Mike Modano.
You are correct. You are correct.
Oh, my gosh. Look at me breaking out the hockey chops. I don't even know. Mike Modano. Yeah.
A Red Wing. There you go.
Mike Modano was a Red Wing?
Yes, he was.
That I don't remember. I remember Mike Modano predominantly with the Minnesota North Stars, but that's just me.
Look it up. So that's that. And Cristobal, you saw at the end of the game that one coach come up and gave him a hug from behind. He turns around and says, "Get the F off me." That right there, when you saw that, Tom, this is how, boy, my man, this is how the coach I had in high school ruined my freaking career. That's the coach that I don't like. And he's from Saban. And when Saban act like that on the sideline, just like this guy did, and demean me, made me feel like as small as an ant. And I had potential, baby. Trust me, I was there.
Yeah, but that's not. Look,
how good I was.
But first of all, we don't know.
It happened that way because I ended up by not playing football, competitive football, past high school because of that. And it got me to where I'm at now with my beautiful Ginger and my wife. So
yeah, but first of all, on the Cristobal thing, we don't know the details of that. Sometimes guys say that they might have been busting stones. Like I bust your stones. If you came up to me and hugged me, I might say that to you. You know what I mean? I get that, But so we don't know exactly what the scenario was there. Secondly, look, a little hard coaching never hurt anybody. I mean, I rode my sons that way as well. I mean, if a coach can take you off, if a coach can make you feel demeaned, nobody may listen. This is what I told my people, my kids and my players and everything when I was a coach for 11 years. That's what I told them. And I always tell my grandsons now, nobody chooses your attitude for you. You choose your own attitude. Nobody else can make you feel small. Nobody can hurt your feelings. Nobody can demean you. You choose your feelings. Nobody is choosing my feelings for me. Okay? That's just me.
That's an easier thing to figure out when you're in your 60s. But when I was a young man, I mean, come on. You can put your arm around a guy and say, listen, this is real nice and easy. You made a mistake. Don't do it again because I'll put you on the bench. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, guys don't respond. Young men don't respond to that.
Two quick things, okay? We got a running back from Oklahoma transferred over, Taylor Tatum. He's the 2004 number one ranked running back in the college football. Now, here we go. This is facts. You can't argue these facts. You ready? All right. The Big Ten versus the SEC in bowl, okay? Power 4 conferences that both teams played. You're 1-8. I'm 5-4, and the worst I could be is 6-6. I could easily be 7-5. That's facts, Tom. You guys are awful. It's because of NIL, and you're the greatest coach of all time, which he is, Nick Saban, no doubt about it. He left because he knew it was going to be a cluster. You know what? Because of NIL. And the people, the teams that are north of the Mason-Dixon got a lot of cash. It's changing, Tom. You might not like it. And it's SEC football is just like Big Ten football. There's a lot of tough teams that pound the ground. These are facts I'm giving you, Tom. You can't deny it.
Well, I've said that. I believe that the Big Ten and the SEC are on equal footing now, and I also believe that the Big Ten teams that are having the best success are the ones that are playing SEC football, that are playing. And the SEC has lost its way in many cases, and that's why you have so many Nick Saban disciples, like all 4 coaches that were in the Final Four, and 6 of the 8 coaches that were in the what do you call it? In the quarterfinals. 6 of those 8 coaches were Nick Saban disciples, and I think that's why. And I think now that the talent and the coaching talent is spread, I think that's absolutely true. I absolutely believe that that's the case. Also, and there is a lot of money in the Big Ten. There's no doubt about it. There is a ton of money in the Big Ten, and but that I think things are cyclical. We'll see what happens.
I wanted to throw this in here as well. As Wolverine Dan has been talking about the transfer portal, Justice Haynes is actually entering that portal. So
why is he going in again?
Well, you're losing.
Why is he going? He was great. He was the best. He was great for them, for Michigan. Oh, he probably wants to go someplace where he can compete for a national championship or for the playoffs. He must be wanting to go someplace where he can compete, I guess. Justice Haynes in the transfer portal, Dan.
Hey, relax. Bottom line is this. I gave you really good facts. 1-8. That's all you were. In the last 2 years, it's been Big Ten champ, national champ. And it'll be a third year. It will be. And because you've got better odds with 2 Big Ten teams in the semis, one of them's going to get in the national championship, and it's going to go down, okay? Bottom line is this.
Yeah, but only one of them gets to play against Miami.
Okay, SEC has been great. I can't argue that, okay? But guess what? Times are changing, and it's going to go back to our side for a while because that's how it goes.
Did you get that from
Big Ten.
Did you get that from AI? Because did you get that from AI?
My source.
But what's your source? Because how can the SEC be 0-3 in a college football playoff when Alabama won and Ole Miss won 2 games? There's 3 wins right there.
I'm just talking about Power 4 conferences, bro.
In the college football playoff, they're all Power 4 conferences. Okay, except for Ole Miss beat Tulane, but Ole Miss also beat Georgia. And Alabama beat Oklahoma. That's because the SEC is so good; they have multiple teams playing each other.
Yeah. Well, hey Tom, you're going to have to fight a lot harder because it's about to go down. You guys are going to start, and you'll see. It's the money. You can't fight money, Tom. You can't.
Oh, you can, but that's okay. All right, Wolverine Dan, I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Lions and playoff game. Oh, that's right, they're not in. My cousin Vinny is up next. Vinny, what's going on?
Tom, happy Football Friday.
Happy Football Friday to you.
I appreciate that. Hey, great job on the Mike Modano thing. I wouldn't have guessed that. I couldn't have guessed that. Good job by you.
I don't know why that was stuck in my head because I remember him being the first real great U.S. player and that he scored a lot of goals. And it just popped into my head, Mike Modano.
And I can never remember him playing for Detroit. Like you say, he was a Minnesota North Star. But
hey, Vinny, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a quick question here. Maybe you can help me out with this. How many SEC teams did Michigan play this year? Do you know?
No idea. I couldn't tell you.
I think they played two. I think they played two SEC teams this year. I think they played Oklahoma. John, do you remember what happened when Oklahoma and Michigan played? Who won that game?
Oklahoma.
Oh, that would be Oklahoma. Okay, and then who they played? They played Texas, right? Who won that game between Michigan and Texas?
I believe it was Texas.
Yeah. I think Texas beat them by 20. Okay. All right. I'm just wondering. I just wanted to make sure that I knew that. Is Michigan are they P4 or they might be group of 6? I think if you're in the bottom half of the Big Ten, you're considered group of 6. I'm just saying. I think that Michigan was 0-2 against the SEC. Maybe they would do better if they played more MAC games. All right. Go ahead, Vinny.
Oh, but Tom, times are changing, so
they're changing.
But okay, I got a question. I'm going to text in my text. But I've got a question for you. You mentioned Miami, the number 10 seed. Okay, who did they beat to get to last night's game?
Ohio State, the 2 seed.
Ohio State was what?
The 2.
What seed were they? Okay,
they were the 2. No, the 3 was Ohio State. The 3. I think they were the 3. The 2 or the 3.
Okay, so 10 beats the 3. Okay, Ole Miss played last night. Who did they beat to get to that game? What seed? Because Ole Miss was what, a 6 seed?
They beat Georgia. They beat the 3. They beat Georgia. I think Georgia was the 3. Georgia was maybe the 3 or the 4. 3.
Okay, so a 10 beats a 2, and a 7 beats a 3. But we spent the last week and a half talking about a number 1 beating the number 9 seed, who actually beat the number 8 seed to get to the reward was playing the number 1 seed. So
right.
No one's talking about the 10 seed beating the 2 seed or the 6 seed or 7 seed beating the 3 seed. It's all the 1 seed beating the 9 seed.
Right.
In what world is the 1 seed not supposed to beat the 9 seed?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that nobody really wanted to recognize that. Look, Georgia and Ohio State got beaten in the quarterfinals too. I mean, it's right. Yeah.
That's right. That's been eating me for days. But anyway, I'm not going to think about it this weekend. I've got Miami winning the whole thing. But let's think that Oregon.
Oh, do you have Miami winning it in our bracket? Because there's only 2 people in our bracket contest. There's 100 people in the bracket contest. There's only 2 people that have Miami winning it all.
No, I'm talking about the Fecta you put out yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this: if Oregon beats Indiana, is Indiana's story still the greatest in the history of college football?
I would say no. In that case.
Okay, if Miami.
By the way, Ohio State was the 2. Ohio State was the 2, and Georgia was the 3. So just
okay. So
clarify
we got 2 and 3 seeds being upset by lower seeds, but we talk about the number 1 seed beating the number 9 seed. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know in what world that makes sense, but we'll chat another day, Tom. Hey, enjoy the games tonight. Enjoy the games this weekend. Have a great one.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Well, Papa T was trying to get in. I think he wanted to say something about the hard coaching. It might not have been. It might not have been real kind. I don't know. The Philip hit the text window. Ask Danica who's going to win the big drag queen race. Stop that. That's not nice. All right, let me get one more. Bama Brad, welcome in. How are you?
Tommy.
Hey, Bama Brad. What's going on?
Let's end this thing on a positive note today. We started out with such a dumper. I'm going to die on my sword with the Bears. I am so amazed that we won the division this year, but yet we still stink. We're still an underdog. We have no chance of winning. Orlovsky said we might as well not even go out of the field. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. I love the disrespect. You know what? Haters are going to hate. So
Well, I think they should be getting. I thought the Bears would be a 2.5, 3-point favorite in this game. I really thought that they would be. But part of it is when you get a team that comes out of nowhere. It was kind of like the Lions, and they got beat in the first round and so on. And they had to bye and all of that and got beat by Washington. So it's kind of like that. But I don't think they're there yet.
Thom, we had this conversation already. The Chiefs last year, when they won everything by 1 point, were the greatest team in history because of the way they came back in one game.
But they had done this. They had won 3 Super Bowls.
Absolutely no respect.
Yes, but they had earned that right because of the fact they get the benefit of the doubt because they had won all of those Super Bowls. With the Bears, the Bears are an emerging team. They're not, the Chiefs didn't get that respect when they first got into playoffs.
I'll give you that. But anyway, I'm going to die on my sword here with the Bears.
All right. Well, I think I picked them in the Beat the Big Dog. Thanks for the call, Brad. I appreciate you. I think I did pick them and Beat the Big Dog. I'm not 100% sure. I think I did. Let me look at it. Yeah, I did. I picked the Bears there. I had the Canes last night. So I'm already 1 up in Beat the Big Dog because our contestant had the Ole Miss. All right, we'll get a break, come back, and wrap it up next. This is the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
The College Football Playoff Semifinals on ESPN Radio. Thursday in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl.
From 47 yards,
Ole Miss faces Miami.
It's intercepted. It's going to be a Miami pick six.
Then on Friday in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. It's Indiana, Oregon. The College Football Playoff Semifinals, 7 Eastern. Thursday and Friday on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Hey, this is Chad Watts from Firefly Marine. I want to tell you about the largest fishing expo in state history in Coleman on January 16th through the 18th. Shop hundreds of vendors and stop by our booth to check out our new Torchlight products. For more information about this expo, go to ultimatefishingexpo.com. The largest fishing expo in state history in Coleman on January 16th through the 18th.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com. From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road. Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. In Hampton Cove and our latest location, now open in New Market on Winchester Road.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by the award-winning service department at Woody Anderson Ford. That's right. They take care of the routine checkups. They keep your Ford or other brand in perfect working order. But if you have a bigger problem, they got these expert service technicians that can diagnose it, use state-of-the-art tools to get it resolved. I take my vehicles there. I've been doing it, for nearly 20 years now. It's Woody Anderson Ford and the service department. Second to none. Check out Woody Anderson Ford today. And welcome back to Tom Abraham Show. As we are wrapping things up, one of the things about the Bears that you got to keep in mind, and they've been a great story. And again, I have a family relationship, a personal relationship with their GM Ryan Poles, and he's a kid that grew up hanging around my kids, as well as his daddy Junior Poles and me were roommates on the road when we were college football coaches, and the kids were all close. And his oldest son and my oldest son would play in the block and dummies and sometimes travel with us on road games and things like that. So, known Ryan since he was 6 years old, played in turkey bowls and things like that. So I'm pulling for him, even though I like the Packers. Packers are my second favorite team on the planet. So I'm pulling for the Packers in that game. But I'm not going to hate it for Ryan and the Bears. Plus I have two son-in-laws that are from Chicago that are big time Bear fans as well. They played the easiest schedule in the NFC. I'm just going to tell you that right now. In terms of the playoff teams, they played the easiest schedule. Their conference, their net points, they won a lot of close games. Their conference net points is +3. 3, as in 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. Okay, for example, Seattle, their conference net points are +153 in games within the conference, within an NFC. Overall, 191. The net touchdowns for the entire season for the Bears is 0. They scored as many touchdowns as they allowed. So you just kind of have to think about that a little bit. The only team that's got a worse conference points and overall points is Carolina, and they're a losing team. They had an 8-9 record, and they were outscored by 69 points this season. The Bears outscored. Bears won 11 out of 17 games. They go 11-6 and outscored their opponents by 26 points. Think about that. That's a statistical anomaly to get that done. One other note that I wanted to get out there is this is an interesting phenomenon. The country loves the Indiana Hoosiers. Absolutely loves the Indiana Hoosiers. Based on social media analytics, 42 states in the country are pulling for Indiana to win it all. 5 states like Oregon, Alaska, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, and Utah. People out there, okay? Those 5 states, there were 2 states. There were only 2 states in the country that were pulling for Ole Miss. John, what 2 states do you think were pulling for Ole Miss to win a national championship?
Maybe like Mississippi?
Yeah, that would be one.
And then possibly like an Arkansas?
Alabama.
Hey, there you
go.
We're dedicated to the South. We stay dedicated.
Oh, right next door. Yeah, right next door. So, and this again is based on social media analytics. Only one state is pulling for the U. One. And it's Florida. That is it. I'm telling you, Miami as a national brand is a myth. I just don't see it. And if it ends up being Miami and Indiana, forget about it. It's not going to be, it ain't going to be that way.
Let's go Ducks.
Let's go Hoosiers. See if they can get it done. Why isn't my music playing by now?
I don't know.
Should my end of the show music be playing by now?
You've been extended like a minute and a half.
Is that what's happening? I don't. The whole Friday clock is jacked up. It started right at the very, very beginning. Doesn't it seem like the whole Friday clock is a little bit jacked up?
I don't know. The guy in charge of that's actually right across the glass from me.
Oh, is he?
There it is.
There it is. Got to ask him about that. Say, hey, this Friday clock is a little bit I think the Friday clock was messed up a little bit.
Hey, but it had all of your football music in it, and I'm very thankful for that.
So Monday, we will obviously be recapping all of this football stuff. I may slip a NASCAR note in there. Monday, NASCAR is going to reveal the new playoff system, John. They got a new system for the championship. Most people think it's a 10. It may be as little as 8, but probably a 10 race playoff. We'll get into that a little bit, and we may even touch on the situation going on in Nashville regarding the fairgrounds. Hey, soccer owner, stop messing with the racetrack in Nashville. Shut up. They support you. You should support them. That's all I got to say about that, Mr. Ingram. Have a great weekend, everybody.